Get huge savings all summer long with the Buy Here, Sell Here program at the Team Automotive Group. Sell your vehicle to us and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get Team VIP service at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hello and welcome as we start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your little slice of South Louisiana heaven. Since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours earlier this week, we start today's show with a dual titled segment. The first half is, this is how you know they don't care about us. The second half would be, this is why we love him. This week, Eagle Pass, Texas. Inundated, invaded by illegal immigrants coming across our southern border. Border Patrol agents apprehended. This is just the ones they apprehended, mind you. Roughly 7,000 illegal immigrants in the last 3 days. What was it Karine Jean-Pierre told us? Well, the border's more secure than it's ever been. And Joe Biden has done more to secure the southern border than anybody. 7,000 apprehended in just 72 hours. It is well beyond the point now where anyone can claim that this is accidental, normal, not being planned. And when you have Democrat-run, so-called sanctuary cities and states screaming bloody murder, that should be enough to tell you all you need to know. 7,000 people that they know of in 3 days. You know, I don't know what it's going to take for Americans to rise up and put a halt to this. What is scary to me is that many times Americans will go along to get along. And when they reach that point, things explode. If you go to any number of the various communities around our country, different ethnicities, different political affiliations, you will find very easily and very quickly that people are fed up with this crap. Now, for the record, we all know what this is about. We all know it's about future voters and diluting voter strength in cities all across America. We know what this is about. But what's really interesting here is that it's gotten so bad now that African Americans and Latinos are all up in arms about this. African Americans up in arms for the obvious reasons. That's resources being taken away from our communities. That's law enforcement resources taken away from our communities. Latinos, on the other hand, may be more upset than African Americans, because those that did it the right way, all that they went through to become an American, these new folk, they have to do anything, just walk the hell in and set up shop. And our government, who allegedly doesn't have any money, is throwing money their way like nobody's business. Meanwhile, second half of this segment, entitled, "This is Why We Love Him," Donald J. Trump this week called for the, quote, largest domestic deportation operation in American history. Former President Trump letting all know that if I am reelected at noon on Inauguration Day, they got to go. He likened it to Ike's plan that pretty much mirrored the same thing. You have no right to be here. What do they say at many of the nightclubs come closing time? You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Donald J. Trump says it will be the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of this country. And one thing we know about Trump, if he tells you he's going to do it, consider it done. How in God's name Democrats, and it's not exclusive, because many of them now have been pressed to the point where they can't hide behind the sanctuary city label anymore. That was good. It was expedient at the time when you wanted to try to demonize Trump. Well, we're sanctuary cities and we're proud of it. And now these very same people are crying, boo-hooing, walling, we need some help. We can't do this by ourselves. But wait a minute. You were the one that told us. You want them. You welcome them. You're proud of them. And now all of a sudden that you have to pick up the bill for it. Oh, but no, we can't, you're going to change New York forever. Imagine that. Huh. Can you say hypocrite? So get ready, y'all. Between now and the next presidential election, if you think 7,000 people walking across our border into one city in 3 days is a lot. You ain't seen nothing yet, y'all. They are going as if the floodgates weren't already open. They're going to open those puppies like the Bonnie Carr Spillway in flood season. Get ready. Remember where you heard it first. The only way it does not happen is if enough Democrat officials, governors, mayors, councils, if they raise pure holy hell, then the Biden-Harris administration will be forced to do something. But whatever they do, as is typical liberal/Democrat fashion, you can bet it'll be a drop in the bucket, and it ain't going to amount to, I wish this was not a family show so I could say what I'm thinking. Get ready, y'all. Now, you know your buddy Clarence. I don't believe in lying to you. I have better things to do with my time than to sit around trying to make up lies to tell you. And if you've been paying attention at all, you can see it coming for yourself. When the White House spokesperson says, well, the border's secure, and 7,000 illegal immigrants walk across the border into one town in 3 days. Sounds pretty secure to me. When the White House spokesperson says, well, Joe Biden's done more to secure the border than anybody. And yet, 7,000 in one city in 72 hours. Do the math, y'all. It ain't that hard to figure out. First break of today's show. I can only imagine how sick and tired you must be of this crap by now. And I can only hope that you will govern yourselves accordingly in the days, the weeks, and the months still to come. Some of y'all gonna still vote Democrat. You're hopeless. There's nothing we can do about that. But the rest of you who see the reports, thousands of people streaming in, who have to buy gas at the gas station that you can no longer afford, that goes to the grocery store and think, I must have left 3 or 4 bags of groceries at the store because this can't be all I got for what I just spent. Maybe next time, instead of calling us all sorts of ugly names, maybe you'll take the time to listen. And next time you'll figure it out for yourself. First break of today's show. We'll be right back right after this break on today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Come on, brother.
Very few vehicles develop a community of ownership like the Mazda Miata. But why? Well, maybe it's because Mazda's been building the Roadster for over 25 years and there's never been a bad one. Or maybe it's because the Mazda Miata's been universally praised since its inception as one of the most fun cars to drive for the money. If you're looking for fun, affordability, and reliability, come see our Mazda Miata selection today and experience for yourself why Miata is always the answer. At Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. It is getting close to the weekend. Where's the Serio band gigging this weekend?
We are off this weekend, but
you're off?
But we're going to be here next Friday. Old School Barbecue, the 29th.
Sweet. What time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
7 till 11, and we do not take a break.
So if you're looking to get your groove on, this is the guy. But on a serious note, if you're looking to get ahead of something that is inevitable, and I know before you say it, Clarence, I don't know how comfortable I am talking about this. Well, you better get comfortable, because our existence here, y'all, is finite. And for many of us, it's infinitely more finite than others, meaning some will live, as the good book gives us, 70, or if by reason of health and strength, 80. Some of us are not going to make it anywhere near that. These days, things happen so quickly, unexpectedly, clear out of the blue, and you need to be ready. So why not let Lee Serio and his darling wife Gretchen get you en route to having your final arrangements already taken care of. I was railing on Democrats in the opening segment. And many of us, we go to buy gas, we go to buy groceries, we open up our utility bill, and inflation is eating us alive. This is a hedge against inflation, isn't it?
It certainly is. And over the last couple of years, y'all, we used to have price increases maybe every 14 months.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing price increases coming through every 5-6 months now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Y'all, it's simple. Pay us now or pay us later.
Uh-huh.
Pay us now, take care of it. It's all planned. Have your family pay us later when they're grieving and they've got to do it all. It's tough.
Right. I look at the number of veterans that we have in our state because historically Louisiana has been one that supports the military and military service. There may be some folks watching right now that are saying, well, my parents are veterans, so all that's taken care of. Not exactly, is it?
No, sir. Well, it's certainly not taken care of for you just because you're the child of a veteran.
Right.
But number two, if you don't prearrange, fill out your pre-approval letter, get your letter back, they have no idea. Now, when the things happen, you pass, we certainly can help speed that process up, but it's just so traumatic for the family not knowing and then waiting and waiting. It's so much easier. Meet with me. We go over our Veterans Planning Guide. We go over the documents. We get them mailed off to National VA in St. Louis, Missouri. You get your pre-approval letter back. everything's ready to go.
When you consider, Lee, that we are talking about the government here in the case of veterans, it's kind of unrealistic, is it not, to think that, well, the government's going to make this easy for me because my mother and father were veterans. They're going to make it easy for me to handle the arrangements and everything else. Wrong answer, right?
Right. No, it's not going to be that easy. A lot of work on the funeral home's part, a lot of work on your part to make things happen in a time period that's a crunch and you're grieving. Get it done before. We all love our family. You want to show them you love them? Get your pre-arrangements done. Y'all, it's probably the most important family business we have to take care of. Too often we don't get around to it.
Right.
Show your love.
Speaking of Louisiana people, we can be quirky, for lack of a better word, at times. We do things that folks in other parts of the country look at and giggle or look at it however it is they look at it. So there may be some folk watching right now that are saying, well, my wife and I, we decided I want to do this when I die, and she wants to do that when she dies. Is there any detail that's too large or too small for you to handle? There's not. And a lot of folks are getting away from the traditional type of funeral services. Right. And, y'all, we've had motorcycles, we've had Piros, we've had all kind of the memorabilia. You duck hunters with their Piros and their decoys at the funeral home. Anything you want. Nothing's too big, too small. Exactly. Speaking of the funeral homes, someone may be saying, doggone it, I'm tired of Clarence beating me over the head. I'm going to go ahead and do the right thing and give my family the peace of mind that they deserve. Understanding all of that, they may wonder, well, the kids are moving to Florida or to Texas or whatever. We might decide to join them at some point. What's that going to do for the pre-planned funeral that I paid for in Louisiana? What do you tell them? I tell them, you can transfer your pre-arranged funeral here in Louisiana to any Dignity Memorial provider nationwide. How many are we talking? 5, 10, we 20? We have over 2,000 funeral homes and cemeteries nationwide. Sweet. We are in every major metropolitan area, or we are close by. Let me tell you this. Dealt with a lady last week, a couple weeks ago. She came in from Las Vegas. She thought she lost that plan and she was going to have to start all over here in Louisiana. Right. I met with her. I found out that no, that was a Dignity provider in Las Vegas. I said, ma'am, it's just simple. We're going to change the funeral home. It's easy to us. It's bought and paid for already. You bought it 15 years ago. You paid this much. Right. It now costs this much, but don't worry. It's taken care of. You brought something to mind the very first time that we met, and it really stuck with me. I'm sure there's some other folks watching right now that are saying, well, I already got life insurance. That's what that's for. But you had a different take on using that life insurance to pay for a funeral. Would you share that with our viewers? Y'all, we have life insurance to protect our family so that when we're gone, that's money they can live on. Especially us men, that's for our wives. Right. To live on. We're gone. Why take a big chunk of that with us? And in some cases, it's all of it, depending on how much life insurance you have with us to be buried when it's something we should have taken care of beforehand. Right. It's for life insurance is for the living and for them to continue, not for us to take with us. In today's world, and I find myself doing it a lot these days, when I'm watching a product being advertised on TV, I don't listen nearly as much to what they say the product will do. I don't listen to that nearly as much as I listen to the guarantee that they give me. Does Dignity Memorial guarantee satisfaction?
We certainly do. We have a 100% service guarantee. Meaning, if in the future things are going exactly like the family wishes, and if we can't correct it,
right,
we will give the family money back for that portion of the service that we got wrong, if that happens. And the other guarantee is you've locked in the price. Right. Unless your family starts changing things and wants a nicer casket or whatever,
right,
you paid for it.
One of the things that is quirky to the human experience is something called peace of mind. Most times, we ordinary folk are of the opinion that that's something you cannot put a price tag on. You can't sell me peace of mind. You might be the one exception to that rule, right?
I do believe so. And I can tell you from my own experience, my wife and I took care of our arrangements a couple years ago.
Right.
I have peace of mind knowing that it's done. My kids are grandkids, because, y'all, we don't know the future.
Right.
We don't know who in our family down the line is going to be taking care of us. Peace of mind knowing that's done. And another thing that we offer with our prearranged funerals is travel protection. If you're off, another state, another country, wherever you pass away, we have protection that gets you back and no additional costs or burden to the family.
Wow.
That's true peace of mind. As we get older, we want to travel, but can I take this trip? What happens if I'm on this trip and something happens to me?
How are they going to get my body back? That's an extra expense involved.
Not if we took care of it before it's done.
Wow. How can folks get in touch with you, Lee?
Please call my wife, Gretchen, 225-315-6329. She'll speak with you. We'll set up a meeting. Y'all, it's not obligational. I just want to meet, answer all your questions. We'll go through our personal planning guide. We'll get things set up the way you want it. Whether you purchase from me or not, at least you will let your family know your wishes.
Now, if they want to come out and sit down, meet you, casual setting, final Thursday of every month, it's just for them, right?
That's right. Next week, the 28th, Thursday the 28th. Let's come here, get here about 10:45. We'll watch Clarence show. I'll feed you during the show.
He's going to buy you lunch.
I'll buy you lunch, and then we'll just talk afterwards.
It is 225-315-6329. Take all those numbers, throw them in a hat, toss them on the table, and it will spell peace of mind. Dignity Memorial. Lee, thank you, my friend. And next Friday, we expect to see y'all here at Old School Barbecue for the Lee Serio Band. Bottom of the hour break. We'll get it done, come back and get into more of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Get yourself summer ready with the award-winning lineup of Hondas at Team Honda. We'll help you find just the right vehicle to hit the road to whatever destination awaits you. Come shop the most awarded brand in Car and Driver's 10 Best history at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
It's time to go where summer leads you during this season of discovery at Team Mazda. Transcend ordinary in the Mazda CX-5 or experience the next level of luxury in the all-new Mazda CX-90. Come by today and discover Mazda at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, for quite some time now, we as Americans have bemoaned the state of public education. It is hard for me to wrap my mind around what we have allowed public education to become in America. I guess growing up the way I did, I guess I would classify my early childhood years through middle school. My family was what I would consider lower middle income, in between middle income and upper low income, if that makes sense. But the entire neighborhood, not to mention the Bugs household, understood the value of education and demanded excellence as well as effort. It truly is a different day, y'all. It truly is. So recently, yet another Democrat-run liberal city, Baltimore, Maryland, underwent their annual testing of the students in public schools there in order to gauge what kind of results they're getting. When the results came out, one gentleman, school board member, called it educational suicide. You know, at one time in our country's history, it was embarrassing to you and your family. It was insulting to the teachers, the administration, and the school itself if you, for whatever reason, refused to give 100% in education. Understanding, yes, we're paying these teachers. However, they're spending time with you and on you, attempting to educate you. Taxpayers have money taken out of their checks to pay for the teachers to educate you. So it's an insult for you to waste that time and their effort. So Baltimore, Maryland annually engages in testing all of their students to find out, okay, where are we? How are we doing? How are our students doing? The results, y'all, educational suicide. And at some point, you have to wonder how much of this is intentional. Now, in case you don't know, City of Baltimore, overwhelmingly, them folk look just like me. Overwhelmingly. The results are in the latest round of state testing. And the alarm bells are ringing so loud they cannot be ignored. The latest from Project Baltimore shows 40% of Baltimore's high schools, 4 out of every 10 high schools at Baltimore, in Baltimore, did not have one child that was proficient in math. You heard me right. And it gets worse. Additionally, not only do 40% of the high schools in Baltimore not have a single child in the entire school that is proficient in math, 74% of the children tested were at the very bottom. 1 out of 4, 25%. Now, did I mention 2 things? The last time, 2017, the alarm bells went off. They found out 6 years ago, 40% of high school students were not proficient in math. I stand corrected. 40%, meaning 13 schools had this many kids proficient in math. Then there's this. Last year, the City of Baltimore's public education system received $1.6 billion of taxpayer money. That's just from the feds. That's not counting local taxes. $1.6 billion. And 40% of high school students in Baltimore can't begin to approach proficient in math. You know, at some point, you have to take responsibility for what plagues you. I can not begin to imagine what it's like when these children leave the classroom and go home. Because conventional wisdom says, number one, you shouldn't need a test to tell you this. I mean, you go home, and if your parents were like ours, they want to know, well, what'd you do in school today? Well, we talked about or learned about this, that, and the other. Okay. What'd you do in math? Well, we talked about this, this, and this. Okay. Show me how it works. Well, I didn't quite get that part yet, but I'm going to study it tonight. No. Tell me what the teacher told you. I'm going to go out on a limb and take a wild guess here. The majority of these parents have no clue when their children tell them what the teacher taught today. They have no clue what they're talking about. And on top of that, they can't tell if the kids are lying to them or not because they are uneducated themselves. Now, we've seen recently, not very long ago as a matter of fact, the left, particularly the liberals, the progressives, tell us that wanting more intelligence is racist. Why do you want to know math? That's racist. Why do you want to know the rules of grammar? That's racist. Why do you want to elevate yourself and your intelligence? That's racist. So I guess in hindsight, these numbers really shouldn't be all that surprising. But here's the problem, y'all. This is the future of our country we're talking about. And if it is this bad now, just imagine adding another generation or two to that. I had a young guy that I was talking with this morning that I have the utmost respect for. And he mentioned that a big part of it was his generation's problem. They caused this because they have so many babies making babies. And I told him, I said, yeah, that's a reality. But the only thing worse than babies making babies are uneducated babies making babies. There's an old saying, y'all, you can't teach what you don't know. That's a real old one. If you don't know it, you sure as hell can't teach it to anybody else. And what happens is the cycle perpetuates itself. You get people that can tell you this kind of foolishness. Well, math is racist. Math is not absolute. 1 + 1 does not necessarily equal 2. What are you talking about? Well, if you take one hen and one rooster and come back tomorrow and you have 2 biddies, now 1 + 1 = 4. Well, what happens if they have 3 biddies? Well, in that case, 1 + 1 = 5. And these people are teaching our children. Well, probably mostly in Baltimore, Maryland. And you can bet, and I'm not a betting man, but you can bet, if it's that bad in Baltimore, it's that bad a whole lot of other places as well. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up another week of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close. Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Treads and Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads and Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads and Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads and Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, one of the things, and this is not in recent memory, but from way back, today if you were to ask average Americans, you would probably get a different response. But one of the things that federal law enforcement agencies have been known for over the years is, quote, they never give up. They never stop looking for you. I don't care how long it's been. If it requires federal agents to find you, they never stop looking. Enter Greg Lawson. I know you don't remember the name, unless, of course, you know Greg Lawson or you lived in the city where he was in. The FBI announcing this week that now 63-year-old Greg Lawson was arrested yesterday in Huatulco, Mexico, after being on the run for 32 years. I did mention he's from Louisiana, right? Ringgold, Louisiana. Deputies were awaiting his arrival, picked him up and took him away. Over the years, investigators had been receiving tips that, well, he's living in a foreign country, right across the border. Well, I say right across the border, the country across the border, for 32 years. I have to wonder, since it was not a murder charge, it was an attempted murder charge, how miserable his life has been these 32 years, with that specter always hanging over his head that any day, at any moment, there may be a at the door. Now, I guess it's easy for me to say, but that's no way to live, y'all. It's not. But I guess he knows that now, right? In other Louisiana news, this week, the gubernatorial race got a little bit smaller here in Louisiana. Representative Richard Nelson officially dropping out of the race for governor and endorsing Jeff Landry as he exits the gubernatorial race. Marty, help me out. Why do we call it gubernatorial instead of governatorial? Just a thought. I mean, it is the governor. It is the race for the governor's mansion. If you win, you will be the governor. So why do we always talk about the gubernatorial race? Oh, they're a bunch of goobers. Ding, ding, ding. I like that one. I like that one. Never thought about that. Gubernatorial. Just one of those wild thoughts that comes out of nowhere. And speaking of wild thoughts that come out of nowhere, the good folks in Tangipahoa, please, y'all, I love y'all. Don't think I'm picking on you, but I couldn't ignore this one. This week, there is a gentleman, I'm assuming he's a gentleman, 28-year-old, some pronounce it Jeffrey, some Joffrey. I'll say Joffrey Armstrong, Geoffrey. Joffrey Armstrong was at a hospital and was waiting for his ride back to Jefferson Parish. Obviously and apparently, his ride was taking too long. And he got, quote, impatient. So what did 28-year-old Joffrey Armstrong do at the hospital? You already know. You already know. This guy decides he is going to steal, wait for it, an ambulance. Now, Marty's sitting there going, I know it's not Tuesday. I get it. But yeah, bruh, stupid. First of all, ambulances are loaded for GPS so that law enforcement, first responders, they know. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We got the call? Yeah, they're about 3 minutes away. Keep doing the chest compressions. They'll be there 2.5 minutes. They'll be there. Just hang in there. They're GPS tracked, so you know exactly where they are anytime they go anywhere. Not to mention the fact that this big old square box has ambulance written on it. So dude is driving, trying to get back to Jefferson Parish. I guess it could have been worse. Law enforcement officer goes, hey, that's the ambulance we're looking for. So they light him up. Dude pulls over and admits, yeah, I was just impatient. I was ready to go home. 28 years old, y'all. So now not only are you not going home, not this minute, but you got a bevy of charges to go along with your absence from your home. When I was a much younger man, and I would see a story like this, the first thing that I would ask, what were you thinking? But as I've matured and watched more and more and more people do this sort of stuff, when I hear in my brain, what was he thinking? The first thing that pops out is, oh, that's right, you weren't. You gonna steal an ambulance, bro? I mean, something maybe just a little bit more inconspicuous, you think? Like I said, I had no idea at the time we started the segment on Tuesday, second segment. Now that's just stupid. I had no idea at the time that if I simply looked, I could do a whole freaking show on stupid. Again, Tangipahoe, not picking on y'all. I love me some Southeastern, primarily from my early school days, middle school, high school. Very first place I ever went to play a concert. They used to have, and I don't know if they still do or not, they had statewide band competition. Was at Southeastern, where we got to travel from Baton Rouge to Hammond. And we'd go and play the music we've been practicing for months now to get ready to see if we could try to win a state award. So Hammond and Tangipahoe, not to mention Strawberry Festival, they have a very special place in my heart. I just hope ain't no more like this brother walking around the streets in Hammond. Just an observation, y'all. Just an observation. Speaking of which, my time's up and I gotta go. But you already know the drill, don't you? I know you do. This day, maybe more so than any other day in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we are not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you soon. God bless. Thanks, God.